Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
Oh, no introductory song?
Yeah, it played.
Or did it play already?
It played.
A little inside baseball. I have no idea what's going on here. I am your host, Jay Fry, and with me for this hour to 2 hours to 4 hours to God, I have no idea how long this is going to take me, is Josh. Josh is not here this week. He is currently traveling. How's it going, Garrick?
Garrick is not paying attention.
No, I'm busy unloading groceries. Fuck off.
Cool. And Sean?
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Wish we could mute and boot.
Yeah, well, Google decided that that's not something they want people to do anymore.
Yes.
That'd be so funny. Be in a friggin' Zoom meeting and that's how you bully kids.
Kick them out constantly.
Keep muting their microphone when they're trying to talk. Mrs. Krabappel, I never learned to read because Joey kept kicking me.
That's messed up.
If you time it right during a reading assignment, you can get them to say fart. Like, that's a strong possibility, but those would be man titties. So that's how they roll in the Cajun Creole that is the Garrick household. So let's see. What do we have to talk about today? We got to talk about flies. Talk about David Cronenberg. Talk about $1,000 Glocks being used by Antifa to murder red-blooded American males. And why you don't bring pepper spray to a gunfight. All this and more.
Mostly the more.
Any favorite couple hours of list? Yeah, we got more. There'll be more. There's stuff we're going to talk about, stuff we didn't know we were going to talk about, stuff we didn't even want to talk about. It's going to be good.
I'm just dying over
Who's
here.
Enrique Torrio? Who the hell's that?
Fuck if I know.
Wait, is that Christian journalist guy? Bleached hair? Timcast had a guy on last week from Black Rifles Matter. Absolute idiot.
What's this one? That's good.
Sounds like mine.
Yeah, caps on. That's fine. I don't actually have an issue with caps lock. If you're wondering, it's just a fun little thing I decided to pick for a group that. Oh, that's Enrique Torrio, the leader of the Proud Boys. I'll be watching that tomorrow. So, he's the Cuban, the Afro-Cuban white supremacist leader of the Proud Boys.
Yep.
I got into it with a guy on Facebook the other day because I had to correct him that, he's like, the founder of the Proud Boys is black. And I'm like, no, the founder of the Proud Boys was Gavin McGinnis. And it was a joke. Like one of his levels of Proud Boyhood is to be beat into an initiation while naming 5 breakfast cereals. Like, it's not a real thing. So, Garrick, is your mute button broken? Is that what I'm led to believe here?
Yes, we're gonna go with that. So,
Hey,
Get ready for some background noise.
King of the good old background noise. Do you have anything you wanted to break the ice with, my little fat penguin, Sean?
Why am I going to be a fat penguin?
Because they break the ice.
Okay. Yeah, so that reminds me of something that that I read online today, that I was today years old when I figured out, apparently, and that is the saying "hold your horses" means to be stable.
Because stables hold your horses.
Exactly. I did not know that until today.
How did you? I was kind of this year's old when I realized that Patrick is dumb, and he lives under a rock.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was like, it caught me one day, like, oh, he lives under a rock.
I never put it together that he's dumb and he lives under a rock. It's like a furthering of the meme. Oh,
So who's really dumb?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah. Did you know that the Krusty Krab is also a crab trap?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I caught that.
Here's
But
one.
like,
Here's one you
Go ahead.
probably didn't know: that the anthropomorphic M&M characters have backstories.
anthropomorphic.
So
From the commercial?
Yes, from the commercials.
Like red and blue and yellow?
And green and brown, yep.
Really?
They do.
I thought
And
Brown had a hard life.
brown and green are the only two women and are in a relationship.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this.
Yeah.
Which ones are they in a relationship with? Orange?
Each other,
Themselves.
dumbass.
Jesus Christ.
If only two of them are in a relationship, that doesn't mean 4 relationships.
He's used to one. Leave him alone.
This wasn't even a word problem.
Girls aren't supposed to be together like that. What are you talking about?
What would you guys do without me, honestly?
Yeah, I brought over all these flyers because Red said you two are the best at scissoring. I didn't. He laughed after he said that, but
Chop the hole when you use the rest.
can you cut these or what?
Yeah.
We don't have cut really? Or from
So staying on topic, because why bother? But still, you know that Pence
Lesbian candies?
well, not lesbian candies. I was going to go back to the actual topics. The pretty fly for a white guy thing. You know that Trump absolutely dominated the debate if the talking point was the fly on his head and not any sort of substance from the other side.
You mean Pence, but yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Team Trump is what I meant. I meant Team Trump. Yeah, you just knew it. But I can't find anybody who took the time to like trace back the path of the fly to rebut what they're saying is just the fly landed there, and I can't find anybody who's rebut the argument that the fly is CGI and put there. But you all remember the fly Obama killed that Peter was up in arms about for half a second because they really didn't care. Or the one Hillary or the one on Bernie. Like, newsflash, flies are attracted to hairspray.
And white hair, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently Garrick is spraying for flies currently.
Yeah.
No, sauteing onions, actually. Or just fry, no, we're frying meat. That's what it is. My bad. I need to go.
Few people know that the name for Satan is Lord of the Flies, or Father of Flies. That's what it is. Like, no, that's not how that. No, that's not the term.
I just think that it's a silly thing to focus on at all. It was silly when it was Obama. It was silly when it was Hillary. It was silly when it was. All right, it was a little bit hilarious when it was Bernie, because he's basically a walking corpse anyway. But outside of that, I thought it was a dumb thing to focus on.
Yeah, unless you eat the fly, like that bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'm not impressed.
I would agree.
But
I
yeah.
agree with that.
Thanks, guys. Guys. Speaking of, do you know where Blair White's moving to?
I didn't know Blair White was moving.
Oh yeah, all the conservatives are moving out of California.
Oh, well, he blocked me
And
on Twitter a long time ago, so
oh my god, the still to this day one of the funniest things I've ever seen is Blair did an interview with Alex Jones and did pretty good representing himself, and then it's like, can I hold you for one more segment? Like, yeah. And so he goes, all right, and when we come back, we'll talk about trans-dimensional inner space demons or some shit. It was like, and the look on Blair's face was like, what? And I'm like, that is so fucking funny. But it was like they're talking about like the trans and trans rights and trans this, that, and the other thing. And then it was trans-dimensional robot human hybrid. It's like, son of a bitch. Thank you, AJ. I needed that. That's fucking great.
yeah. I mean, I find myself agreeing with Blair on some things, but knowing that that person is just an attention whore, I fail to care most of the time.
But I appreciate Blair, who turned into a woman to date men, more than Theron, who was extra special and turned into a female to date women. Like, no. So not only are you part of this infinitesimally teeny tiny small group of people who happen to have been placed in the wrong body by science, according to you, but you're also gay for women. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Well, and I can fully buy into the fact that Blair was probably legitimately transgender and not a trans-trender. Not so sure about most of the other ways. You know what I mean?
I buy it more than Riley.
Yeah, Riley is a trans-trender looking for a reason to exist and for people to pay attention to him. So
Riley is the same thing as Theron. Infinitesimally small group, has no plans of surgeries, and is perfectly fine without even getting boobs, and still dicking a chick.
yeah, that's just a femi dude.
Yeah.
It's not a transgender person. Which one's Theron?
Theron's a South African who lives in Canada.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Blue-eyed, brunette. Was really popular in the MRA circles.
No idea.
She's popular like 5 years ago.
Okay.
4 or 5 years ago.
I mean, I could see where ContraPoints is probably also legitimately trans.
Yeah.
But again, it takes that cold hard realism of this is a difficult thing to be, and I'll talk about how it's a difficult thing to be, but it doesn't change that that's what I am. Whereas a bunch of them are just complaining to complain and get attention, and that's usually a moniker of the bullshit.
Yeah, Hawk, Theron Meyer.
But I do believe that transgenderism is a thing that can happen, but it is, like you said, infinitesimally small in the population. It's an aberration, and I mean that by the legitimate meaning of the word, not the connotation of it. And it's exceedingly rare. So I think that Deborah So's got a very good point about how there's the bunch of little teenage girls, 13, 14-year-old teenage girls, that suddenly the whole gaggle of them think that they would rather be boys is a psychological trend and not an actual or not a sexual disorientation.
There is not a single lesbian in my high school that made it to graduation without getting pregnant. Not a bisexual girl. There was like 5 lesbian girls in my freshman year, and they were all dropped out because of pregnancies.
Okay.
Not dropped out per se, like they went into like the other programs and stuff, and I'm like, you're not sexually mature enough to understand what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Like, there was a point in my childhood I wanted to be a pizza delivery driver. Like, that was my dream goal. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to. My dad was a truck driver. I want to drive, but I also like pizza. I want to be a pizza delivery driver. Like, you want to be pizza? Like, hell yeah! Talk my dream down. I dare you, bitch. I saw Loverboy at a really critical juncture of my life.
I think the first thing that I remember wanting to be was a flying dentist. How those two things relate, I don't know.
Well, clearly you're a dentist in Texas.
Well, what's
You have a
interesting
large,
is that's exactly where I was at the time. I was in Houston, Texas, and NASA was a big thing, so I think I wanted to be an astronaut and a dentist. I would be a dentist in space.
Astro-orthodontist.
Space dentist.
Astronaut Oil Texas Ranger. I work at the Space Rodeo. Yeah. We got.
I guess the question the chat needs the answer. We need the answer to your question. Did you attain your dream at any point in your life? Did you ever get to deliver pizza?
Yeah.
Jay Fry, renowned success.
I delivered pizzas for a couple of years while I was in college.
Don't let your memes be dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You can obtain your goals.
You too can achieve greatness. If you just don't just stream it, meme it. That's that's how that works. Yeah, I did want to, like, my dad was a truck driver. I did not like trucks, 18-wheelers, and specifically. But I wanted to be a driver, so a lot of my jobs were driving jobs when I was of age. Like I worked at Pep Boys as a driver for Pep Boys. It's basically dropping off parts at mechanic shops, and then I actually paid really good for being 18. And then did the pizza delivery driving for a while, and then worked security as a roving security officer. then I had this really short stint as using my degree to be a in psychology for. I ended up working at Department of Health and Human Services as a counselor, and that sucked. Just had a bunch of assholes demanding I pay their bills they didn't bring in to be paid. Just absolutely shitty. And then I never used that degree again. Thanks, guidance counselors. I could have been a pizza delivery driver.
Still can. Live your dream.
Fuck no, I'm not delivering pizzas on this goddamn mountain.
Why not? You give a little extra with the COVID.
Yeah, but the pizza delivery or the pizza shops at the top of the mountain, everybody wanting pizzas at the bottom of the mountain. Terrible gas mileage. Halfway, anyway. Did you ever your dream of flying dentist?
I did not. No, I never went to dental school and never became a pilot. So I am a complete failure in that regard.
When I was in ROTC, it was the Air Force ROTC, and they had a real quality flight simulator computer. And one day we went in, and my colonel, who is the head of the entire system, he was flying, and he thought he put it on autopilot. He did not. And we walk in, and he's pouring a cup of coffee, and he's headed back to his simulator, and the plane inverted. He goes, "That's not even possible." And he takes hold of the wheel, and he starts, and he's like, "What the hell's going on here?" And he was sullying it for about half a mile before he turned the computer off because people were coming in and they thought he was goofing around. Like, we want to see you turn the plane over. Like, come on. You know, like, the plane can't turn over. We don't even know how it turned over in the first place. I'm like, they don't teach you that? I saw Top Gun. I know it can happen.
I was inverted.
3G's inverted. That's how I was. Holding my cup of coffee upside down so it didn't spill.
Oh.
1 or 2 cups of ice.
So I'm wondering when it's going to be that the first leftist agitator gets shot. Now that we've got 2 Trump supporters that are down.
It's well, didn't we already have that blue shirt guy?
What blue shirt guy?
Blue shirt guy from the statue toppling.
From the what?
From the statue toppling last 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah, but I mean that wasn't person on person violence. That was statue on person stupidity.
Well, we had Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, I guess you could count Kyle, but that was more of a self-defense move.
Well, it's the right. They're all going to be self-defense. We've had a couple of jackasses taken out by car. That was still self-defense.
All right, we're just gonna mix.
We had the guy who shot the kid with the AK. You know, with the cripple amputee black girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
I need to get rid of the wall. Usually use medium.
It's not going to be the same thing. The right will be gunned down for nothing,
No.
but the right's not going to gun down the left for nothing. You know, they've spent their life accruing things. And one of their favorite parts of being right-wing is the law and the order.
Unless you purple rice. Yeah. Is it good?
It cooks kind of like long grain. The texture is about the same as wheat.
So we're not going to go around murdering leftists.
It's just different,
Even though this fucking leftist, look at this picture. This fucking leftist with $1,000 Glock.
You're just
Red
jealous
dot.
of the gun, right?
I'm pissed. I'm pissed that his Glock is.
Well, look at
is
it
red
this
dot.
way. That is now in police custody, and eventually they're going to auction that off. And it's going to go for pennies on the dollar.
Mhm. The red dot sight, the TLR7. First off, if you're appendix carrying, which he was, because he's a douche, clearly. But there are certain mitigations you can have. You can bury a revolver in somebody's chest and pull the trigger. You can't do that with a semi-auto because the chest of the person is going to compress around the gun, and it's going to cause your gun to disengage from being flush against the barrel to the chamber. To get around that, you would implement a light that is larger than the front of your gun, so that when the chest would come in contact with the front of your gun, it would come in contact with the bezel, I guess, of the front of the light, and not the barrel of your pistol. So while it looks cool as fuck to have a flush front end with your Glock 19 and your TLR7, you give yourself a TLR1, and you can literally push into somebody while firing your gun. And the only thing you have to worry about is it binding up on clothes that it's loose. Each gun has its benefits and their drawbacks. A light that extends past your barrel is a benefit that will take away from the drawbacks of having a semi-auto that could be disengaged by pushing it against somebody. That's my soapbox. Moving on.
Okie doke.
Here.
Hmm.
Open the door.
Fuck him and his gun. God damn it.
Here.
Suppressor height trigger concept. Go fuck yourself, sir. Yeah, and I got to hand it to the guy. And being in a situation like that, getting maced and firing his gun, excellent grip he had. Shot placement worked. He obviously killed the guy. He's no Kyle Rittenhouse holding on to his gun through a myriad of circumstances, but he managed to put the shots down range. So possibly some training involved or former military.
So did he hit him in the head?
Yeah, there's pictures.
Yeah, so that was not a well-placed shot, because you should be shooting center of mass.
It's all depending on location and distance. I am not aiming center of mass on something that's that close to me. The guy was within 5 feet. If he would have gone for a knife, my center of mass shots would not have ended him in time. It's strictly a matter of preference at that point.
Plus, it sounded like he had to rack it.
Did he?
Sounded like it.
Did that homo carry appendix and not in condition 1? What a sissapants.
Yeah, it still worked, apparently.
I mean, he wasn't really aggressed on, besides the mace. It's not like the guy tried to tackle him or anything.
No, but he did slap him. Slapped his glasses off.
No, I meant during the draw, though. Usually if you see somebody reach, you'll either draw as well, or you'll try to stop them, or you'll try to run away. This guy tried to mace him. That didn't end well.
Well, he had the mace in his hand.
Also, he did. But that that kind of falls to another real Maynard says he racked the slide. You can hear it in the audio. Does mace count as deadly force?
It does not.
No. Non-lethal deterrent.
Which is why that's
way,
what's being carried. It's because it's not a lethal weapon. It's just to keep the aggressors at bay and to let you get out. And this aggressor did not let him get out. You can argue who was the aggressor, but it seems to me that it's more likely that Security Boy thought he had the authority to take this guy's mace without identifying himself or giving any sort of due reason, and got slapped for his trouble and then took offense enough to end the guy. So, I mean, any way you look at it, the shooter's kind of wrong.
Well, now I'm kind of wondering about the whole Pinkerton security aspect of it. Was this guy hired through Pinkerton and not licensed in Denver while being an Antifa retard? Or do they use Pinkerton security and this guy was hired outside because he's an Antifa retard as a way to keep the, paying the arsonist not to set your shit on fire?
Could be all of the above. It could be that the news station that did the hiring said we have to hire Pinkertons. Pinkerton said we need to get somebody in there that's going to help mitigate the lefties from attacking our reporter client. Therefore, we're going to hire this guy as that security. What they should have made sure is that he was not carrying a goddamn firearm. Because now Pinkerton is on the legal end of that loop for not having dotted their I's and crossed their T's.
Mm-hmm. Something else we can talk about is, do you know what a soup drive is? In this instance?
No.
It's a rally, not really a rally. It's not a soup drive so that you will bring cans of soup to BLM. It's a soup drive so that you can bring ammunition to throw at the protesters. Like, oh, officers, we're having a canned food drive. So clearly these rioters would bring their own cans. So, yeah. Canned soup, canned tuna works really good, and it's cheap. I can't tell you how many people I've pegged with a Vienna sausage in my day. Like 37 cents, well worth it to ding you in the wingnut. No, I've never thrown a can. I threw a can pop at somebody once, but it was 3-on-1, and fuck, it worked so good. it was amazing. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, it was. It's a canned soup drive because you can't bring river rocks to your local Antifa park. Now, if nothing was to kick off, they'd probably keep the cans and just redistribute them later to the next BLM/Antifa riot. But yeah, Maynard says they throw soup cans at cops. That's exactly right. Maynard says another handgun was recovered from the victim, according to the police. He never drew it, though.
So he was carrying strapped too?
Yeah, so he had multiple levels of defense. The victim did. Jesus, that's just such a shame that that's what it's come down to.
You know, I'm honestly disappointed that old boy wasn't running an optic on his Glock.
Shut up! I'm jealous enough.
What's the point?
Wait, he had an optic.
I was gonna
Are
say
you
you have a
talking
red
night vision?
dot.
Let me look at that Let me look at that thing again. Oh, he sure did. Son of a bitch. Never mind.
I thought
This guy
For a
is
second.
a
I thought you were talking night vision for a second there. I was like, what?
fucking Well, you know what? If they can figure out a way to run night vision on a pistol, I'm down.
Variable zoom on your.
Good lord.
Like,
What shit?
shit.
Didn't they?
What's
Didn't they?
What's he at? 25 yards? Let's go up to 5x.
Didn't they try that already with like the was it last SHOT Show? They had the EOTech looking little screen that was night vision, or was it like a micro red dot, something like that? I know somebody tried something.
I haven't watched a SHOT Show in like 3 years. I can't afford nothing.
I'll be honest with you, neither can I, but I still look.
I got 37 payments left on a Glock 23 magazine. I don't even own a Glock 23 anymore. Yeah, I'm just irked by everything about this. Damn, this bothers me at this point. And to see the news and how they respond to shit, it's just stupid. Like Steve Scalise, or not Steve Scalise, who was going to be the moderator for the second debate.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name because I don't care.
Yeah, anyways, in the 70s, he just happened to be an aide to Biden.
Intern, yeah.
Yeah, in the last 4 years, he's literally said Trump, not never. And he was called a never Trumper, and they show him with the quote saying never Trump. And they said that calling him a never Trumper is mostly false.
Yeah, that was very revealing.
Yeah. It's like, what would you call him then? A not Trumper once? Go fuck yourselves. Like, they're lying to your face. The media is the enemy of the people.
You know, back when Mika Brzezinski said that stupid thing where she said, you know, he could tell people what to think, and that's our job. I used to think that was like a slip of the tongue and just misplaced words. Now I'm pretty positive that that's exactly what they're taught to believe.
I agree. I'm not a fan of it by any means, but we get 10 a viewer to this stream per month, and I was trying to go somewhere with that. I just couldn't get past the 10 a viewer. Fuck them. No, the actual the media that is in charge. I got called a sheep on Facebook yesterday because I what did I say? I said something about I defended Trump in his like they want to act like it was record breaking or hard hitting investigative journalists when he had a conversation with Bob Woodward that he knew was being taped for a book, and Trump admitted that he downplayed the severity of the virus. Why did he downplay the severity of the virus? Because the virus isn't as severe. We have 2.2 million deaths this year across the board. Last year, we had 2.8 million deaths. across the board. So 2 months, we're going to get
Did you burn
2 million deaths? Because that's what's required. We were supposed to. We had Fauci come out and say in a shocking revelation that between 2 and 6 million Americans would die from the COVID virus. We've had less than 10% of that. Well, we're at 10% now. And that's also some bullshit numbers.
Yeah, flub numbers included.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Just believe me, okay? These numbers are not as bad as. You can be a fat bastard who hasn't exercised since the Clinton administration and not suffer any ill effects of COVID. Trust me. Yeah, I know a thing or two. But it's amazing how ridiculous it is. And she's calling me a blind sheep for believing in Trump when we were told 2 million dead at the low end. And we haven't even...
They're still giving that crackpot that did that study and those numbers, they're still giving him airplay and time. He still gets to yap his gums, even being so catastrophically wrong. He still gets airplay. Yeah.
So 10 million didn't die in Great Britain?
Yeah, no.
This guy cost the UK billions of dollars from a model he rendered about foot and mouth disease and what's it called? The mad cow. I keep thinking Jacob Smirnoff, but it's that's the Canadian comic. In Soviet Russia.
Yakov Smirnov.
Yakov Smirnoff. Khrushchev Smir. Anyway, fucking mad cow disease. He had tens of thousands of cows slaughtered, and the UK went without meat for a goddamn summer. Okay, apparently Maynard reads Jonathan Mayberry books, so he knows what a prion is.
Yeah.
Incorrectly folded protein.
Yeah. Causes sleeplessness in some people. But, yeah, it just...
That's a little bit better.
Calling me a sheep because I happen to believe that it's a leader's job sometimes to lie to his people. Like I've had drives in Michigan where my wife's holding my hand, and I've wanted to take hold of the steering wheel with both hands to get a little more control of it because I was worried about road conditions. But I knew if I would have let go of my wife's hand, she would have panicked about the conditions of the road. So instead, I'd slow down a little and keep the one hand on the wheel like a normal driver. Most drivers have either one hand or two very loose hands on the wheel. But, you know, it's what you do as a leader. You protect those around you from panicking. And Trump had every right to do that because clearly it was not as bad. He took the steps necessary. He shut down in advance, was called a racist, had every member of the Democrat Party saying, go hug Chinese people because Trump's blowing everything out of proportion. You can't have blown everything out of proportion while not doing enough. It doesn't work that way.
It does if you're a Democrat. They literally can hold completely countering ideas in their head at the same time and believe both of them to be true.
Donald Trump is dying of COVID hoax. No. He's dying of COVID, and him having COVID is a hoax. Yeah, okay, I guess you're right there.
Yeah, they can totally, because of their disassociation problem, they can actually hold contrary ideas in their head and believe them to be coexisting.
Isn't that some kind of definition of insanity?
Probably not, but it should be because it is a condition that affects at least half of our population right now.
I wouldn't say half. That's a high number.
No,
say
it's
a third.
half. It's half. There's literally half of the people in this country are delusional
Half
about
of the voting population. Half of the voting population.
I think it's just half of the population, period, because whether you vote or not doesn't mean you're not completely stupid.
Yeah, I've said that. I've said Trump has now proven his position on COVID by having not died of COVID. And the only way Biden can contradict Trump's position is by him dying of COVID.
You know, what's funny is I thought about that the other day, and it wasn't about Biden, though. It was about Schumer. I'm like, Schumer was complaining that it's irresponsible to have the Senate come vote about Amy Coney Barrett because of the COVID danger. I'm like, then you're going to have to get COVID and die from it to prove your point.
Yeah, we have like 8 Congress people right now dying of COVID that are going to make it back within the next week.
So unless one of them steps up and takes one for the team, it's a dead issue.
Pun not intended.
Oh, Mike says which Biden likely will die of COVID eventually.
Yeah,
like
if he
will.
ever gets it, he probably will.
No, like as president only. Like
Well, as
he's going to make it another 4 years if he doesn't win.
a president-elect. Well, and now they're talking about a couple of things came up. Trump went, or not Trump, but Tim Pool went full Alex Jones on one of his videos. Saying
I missed it.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. He was saying that Nancy Pelosi is putting together a committee on the 25th Amendment, not to get rid of Trump, but to get rid of Biden. And that the whole idea is because it takes the vice president and the cabinet to agree to the 25th Amendment, that the only way that would work is if the vice president agrees that, that would happen, and Pence would never do it. Therefore, the only person who would be Kamala, and she would immediately say, yeah, Joe's too infirm to be president, I'm going to be president, and then she would have to pick another vice president. Mm-hmm. So they would use the 25th to depose Joe should he be elected. And quite frankly, he would have to be inaugurated first. So you're looking at least, 4 more months before that could be a possibility. 5 more months. But then Tim went even crazier and he said, well, if Kamala was going to do that and then so that she could become the president, she would nominate Hillary Clinton as her VP, who would then immediately do the same thing to her. And that's how Hillary Clinton would end up being the president.
How insane would that be, though?
I wouldn't put.
That's a little much.
It's much, but you know what? It's something you cannot put past Hillary Clinton.
True. Okay, for those of you who think that that's 100% stupid, let me tell you how 2016 happened. Before the 2016 election period, the RNC or the DNC chairperson was Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine was not a Hillary supporter, but he got bought out of his spot and forced into retirement so that it could be put into a transitional period for Donna Brazile, who then let it go to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And the payment for Tim stepping down was the VP seat. And that is why Tim Kaine, who you never fucking heard of in your entire life, was Hillary Clinton's vice presidential pick. That was our 2016 campaign.
Yeah.
So it's not beyond the mathematical possibility that is exactly what is intended. Biden is only running for president so that he doesn't go to jail over the shenanigans he pulled against Trump in the 2016 election.
Which is why I always thought it was going to be Susan Rice as his running mate, and I do not understand how Kamala pulled this shit off. Other than they seem to think that she's easily replaceable herself, or easily manipulated herself. Because now the money is that if Biden gets elected, Hillary Clinton's going to become Secretary of Defense.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine that world?
What do you mean we're out of missiles?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Trump plans to have the troops home by Christmas. That's nice. It's only taken him 4 years.
Well, you know what? If he delivers, that's awesome.
He's had strategic withdrawals every year since 2016. So this is an actual important withdrawal time. So he will have it done by his first term.
Yeah, and even if he loses, that's something they're going to have to completely re-engineer and re-justify going back in. Good luck.
Yeah. I am amazed how many anti-war leftists, just run-of-the-mill anti-war leftists, are enraged with the idea of Trump getting reelected, but we're fine with Obama killing Americans on foreign soil with drones.
Well, it didn't get reported very much, so that's why they're fine with it, because it was their guy, and as long as it's their guy, they can find justification for it. But, yeah. He's such a nice guy. He's such, he's so articulate.
Right.
Clean. It's clean fella. I have changed my position on war. I love the troops, and I love the troops so much I don't want them to die for my country. I usually support Moabs because I think they're awesome, and they tend not to kill my my troops that I support.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom.
What do you say?
I want our troops home, and when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, veterans were old as shit. Like, my grandpa was a vet. My dad was a vet. Vets were almost like, I could point at a gray-haired person and go, vet? And my dad would go, oh, yeah, probably. Like, let's see if he's wearing a belt or not. That'll determine if he was a vet.
What?
But now, it's kids nearly half my age are vets. It's insane. And they usually have a missing limb, and that's fucked up.
Yes, it is.
So, I'm pro-military, not pro-use of our military. Let's bring the boys home and build giant fucking battle carriers that scare the shit out of China. Can we do that? So, what the fuck are we getting Transformers? Got enough trainees already.
I'm just waiting for walking mechs.
That's nice. What's the name of that movie with the mechs in it? From the 80s with I think it was a full moon movie. Damn, I can't think of the name of it. But there's a movie that's based in the battle droids, battle bots, battle. Anyway, it comes down to wars are now fought on like teams of there's teams of 5, and like they pick one guy to go against another guy in their battle bots. For some reason, the fighting happens in Alaska because fuck Alaska, and so it's a good movie. We won, by the way. America. Like half our scientists were Asian, but still America. Was it Robot Wars? Oh, I don't think so. I have to look up Robot Wars now. But yeah, that was one of the first times I'd seen it that I thought it was hilarious. Not like Pacific Rim; those robots can eat a dick. I still don't know why you need two people to control one robot.
Plot.
No, Steven. This is a full moon, though. Thank you for this. Don Michael Paul. Oh, I love me some Barbara Crampton. Was it Robot Jocks? It was Robot Jocks. Here it is. It's a robot in post World War III. War is outlawed. In its place are matches between large robots called Robot Jocks. These matches take place between two large superpowers over disputed territories. The main character, Achilles, in the plot is one of the large robots, and the plot revolves around a match for the state of Alaska. Is this not a full moon picture? Maybe it's not full moon. It looks like it. I mean, it's got Pit and the Pendulum, Robot War, Space Truckers, Crash and Burn, Fortress. Those are all full moon pictures. It's directed by Stuart Gordon. And Stuart Gordon did Fortress and Reanimator. Those are full moon. Well. Who knows? Oh, Stuart Gordon died this year of multiple organ failure. Bummer. Tales of Halloween, Trophy Heads, Chastity Bites. Good lord. The Arrival, Psycho Slideshow, Demon Freaks, King of the Ants, Dagon, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The TV
One of these
show.
things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same.
Speaking of, they catch the guy who jumped Rick Moranis yet?
No.
Jeffrey Combs was in Robot Jocks. I love me some Full Moon. I love me some Harryhausen. Stop animation. You never saw Robot Wars? It's quite a thing. Good lord. Well, we got an hour. What else have we got going on? I can go on about Full Moon for half hour all by myself.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of... Didn't anybody watch the Comey Barrett hearing today?
No, but I did realize that it started today.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cory Booker was showing up on Twitter. I haven't seen him since Kavanaugh, so something must have gone down. I guess Kamala had a statement or something. I don't even know. I didn't watch because I know what the outcome is going to be.
That bugs the piss out of me. She's ran for office for months now, and just 2 or 3. But when she loses the election, she's going to go back to being a fucking senator.
Well, technically, she still is a senator, which is why she gets to kibitz in on this, because she's actually a sitting member of that committee.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though. Like, she has to go back to her job instead of losing out on it. So she gets, like, bites and bites and bites at the apple. Not doing her job as a senator, but she can... Like, when it was
when
August...
is she up for re-election? When is she up for re-election? Is she up this term?
No. She just got reelected. So 2022?
She got reelected in 18? Or did she get reelected in 16?
16, 22, 16. 6 years, 22. Yeah.
Okay. So, whatever. I'd like to see an upset and have somehow, and I don't even think it's possible, but I would love to see Nancy Pelosi not get reelected.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
So an interesting thing I want to talk about that's movie related or film industry related is that AMC and Regal are closing their doors apparently.
Good.
I mean, I like the movie experience though, the movie theater experience. Like the last movie I saw was Ford versus Ferrari, and that was perfect as far as like sound effects and stuff like that. It really takes you out of your state of mind and pulls you into the movie when you have like roaring engines and your seat actually vibrates from the reverberation of the walls and shit. I mean, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish they would make more movies.
So
But I just wish they would make more movies that took full advantage of that setting, because then people would probably actually want to go back. Some anyway, not all, obviously.
Movies were already dying pre-COVID, honestly. They're charging too much. There's not a profit model in it. Everything was a comic book movie or, some Oscar bait bullshit. The audiences weren't going. And that's due to people having home theater setups that are pretty decent if they want to watch a movie, and it just being cheaper to do on their own terms. Or the fact that Hollywood is producing schlock and has been for about 20 years.
I think that's the biggest problem, though. If Hollywood would actually produce good movies that would draw people, I mean, I think it would be at least a slight improvement.
Well, yeah, but I watch a lot of exploring, like documentaries, not documentaries, but like exploring the movie itself. Like it's literally a conversation on the movie. Like Reindeer Games. You have the movie Reindeer Games is a perfect example. That movie made no goddamn sense. And then you find out that the guy, oh damn it, what's his name? He directed. He's a great director. He directed The Manchurian Candidate, The General's Daughter, John Frankenheimer. Great director. Just did amazing. I mean, he also had the Isle of Dr. Monroe, which was just a clusterfuck. But John Frankenheimer had this movie put together, and it was like 2 hours and 26 minutes. And the audience loved it. And there was like a small group of people who were like, this or that could have been different. And instead of accepting the 90% that loved the movie, they took the cues from the 10% that didn't and turned it into a shit show in which John Frankenheimer ended up quitting directing and then shortly died afterwards.
audience. When the
Just
problem, you need to not listen to complainers. I mean, there's such a thing as constructive criticism, but most people don't know what that is. So they
yeah.
just like to bitch.
Like for me personally, I don't care how good the movie is. I'm like, you know what? I would have liked to have seen Charlize Theron's titties. Like, you couldn't have worked a shower scene into this movie. Like, it's called Mad Max. See, the whole thing is the fight over water. We couldn't have had a shower scene with Charlize Theron because there was no water. Well, what about at the end when everybody got water? Then there could have been a shower scene. But yeah, when 90% of the audience loved the movie, and like, if you ever get a chance, watch a director's cut. It's always going to be better. Because producers are shit. Producers are the jackasses who spend $37 million on a pretty decent R-rated horror movie and then spend an extra $5 to turn it into a really shitty PG-13 horror movie. Like, I got news for you. If I've spent $227,000 for a rig, shots, and lighting to have this guy's head explode, it's going to be a really shitty effect when I have to zoom in on the corner so that you don't actually see the head explode with a digitally enhanced zoom. Audiences will hate it, and no one will like it. You're turning a 6 out of 10 movie to a 3 out of 10 movie in the hopes that your 3 out of 10 movie will gain more money than your decent movie would have. It's stupid. I'm glad you're rotting in prison. Fucking Harvey Weinstein, you piece of shit. Harvey Weinstein was infamous for however long the movie was to take 10 minutes off of it, no matter what the situation. It's about 10 minutes too long. That way, we'll move out of the boring parts. You need the goddamn boring parts sometimes, you asshole. It's called character development. That's why everybody in a horror movie is an asshole. Is so that you at least feel something about them before they die. Like, there was some bullshit in the 80s they tried where you get quick backstory, like, she's the pregnant one. Like, no one cared. Just kill him. Don't kill the kid. Don't kill the dog. Kill everybody else. That's why I went to see this movie in the first place. Have you seen Fury Road, Maynard? Holy shit. It has the worst distribution method of water that has ever existed. A waterfall of water into a crowd of jackasses holding up bowls at probably 60 pounds of pressure per square inch. Just absolute deluge. It's the stupidest fucking distribution ever. It's wasteful and ignorant. But it made a decent movie, so kudos for that. Could you imagine The Professional with Natalie Portman and Gary Oldman and that fucking French guy without the boring parts? Like the character development between Leon and the girl. Movie would have been shit without it. Even though it was kind of boring, it was still fucking enjoyable as all hell. Just ignorant shit. Let the people who you're paying millions of dollars and have made billions of dollars do their goddamn jobs. Even Kevin Smith, who I don't particularly like.
Kevin Smith was an important filmmaker in the 90s. who never grew out of it, and the world has passed him by. And I like me some Kevin Smith movies. I think that they all have a lot of heart, even through the juvenile nonsense. They all have a lot of heart, and he's actually a good writer. It's just that he needs to innovate again, and he's not allowed to. Like Chasing Amy was an astounding movie that didn't get its due.
I can agree with that.
So he went back to the dick jokes.
So did you see they re-released Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back for its 40th anniversary?
What did they change
Part of the deal,
now?
apparently, part of going to the theaters, you were going to get a free, or you get reduced ticket price and a free popcorn. Still abysmal attendance. Which, if I'd have known, I'd have gone. But we had a hurricane, so them's the breaks.
Our theaters aren't really even open.
Ours are starting to. The only movie that I've seen advertised that I'm kind of interested in seeing is Infidel with Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, there's nothing on the horizon that looks entertaining to me.
Free
No,
guy.
everything has been postponed to 2021, which I think the only thing is the Ghostbusters movie, which I'm mildly interested in. After the shit show that happened, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't
I'm
have high
interested
hopes.
in that one, but the kid from Stranger Things is kind of wearing out his welcome.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Samara Weaving. She was even in an episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead. I'm like, I'm sick of seeing you, bitch. Yeah, not the toothless retard, but the kid with the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day I'm going to learn the name of the kid who played Quicksilver in the remake in the X-Men, and I'm going to be tired of seeing him too.
Yeah. Well, the kid with the kid with the nose, as you put it, the kid from Stranger Things, he is just this new generation's Michael Cera, who is only capable of playing exactly one type of person, and that's the geeky, sort of out of place,
Awkward kid, yeah.
awkward kid, and he'll never grow beyond that.
It's
That's
like,
true. I haven't seen Michael Cera in anything since, what was that movie he done?
I don't know. They're all the same. He literally plays the same character in everything he's ever
Oh,
done.
but what's the one that he did with, not Seth Rogen, it's the other guy. What's the another annoying Jew-looking fucker?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yeah.
Appreciate
Super bad.
your description.
Super bad.
Well, it wasn't he was Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
I didn't watch.
But again, that was also just an awkward kid sort of role.
Oh yeah, he was terrible. Evan Peters, that's him. Thank you, Steven. Hate him. But yeah, he was the awkward kid. Like literally, he was the awkward kid in Superbad. He was the awkward kid in Juno. He was the awkward kid in Scott Pilgrim.
Wait, he wasn't Juno. Shit. I forgot about that.
Awkward kid in Arrested Development.
Which was actually, I mean, when he did it in Arrested Development, it was new, it was fresh. But he literally can't do anything but just that.
Which makes him boring now.
Was he in This Is the End?
I think he was.
With all his other-
Yep.
Yeah.
But he just played himself. Same thing.
No, he played the asshole version of himself. Which, by the way, he slapped Rihanna on the ass, and she turned around and slapped the shit out of him. I gotta ask, where was that attitude with Chris Brown?
So you can't fight back at Chris Brown because he just escalates,
Mm.
and he'll really beat the shit out of you.
I like what's his name? Jay Baruchel, whatever, freaking Canadian. From How to Train Your Dragon and that I Managed to Get a Hot Chick movie. Like those were quality, but like they're not the Coreys. The Coreys were kids in every movie for 10 years. And they did decent jobs. Nerdy, creepy, whatever the role called for. They were not a niche character. Like the whiny kid from Babadook that wasn't even real. Or like they're trying to add too much character. Like character actor for kids is not going to get you anywhere in life. Like Macaulay Culkin did a finite amount of roles, but they were quality roles. The Good Son, My Girl, Home Alone. Jesus, it just birthed up Sweetie. Like you can't compare Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son to any other Macaulay Culkin role. And his Dennis the Menace impersonation of Kevin McAllister is absolutely different than his role as the fuck was his name in My Girl?
No idea.
I can't think of it. But point is, don't fuck with bees, Macaulay. Jesus Christ, you made me cry.
The only two movies I ever remember seeing him in are the two Home Alone movies and Richie Rich. So that's actually 3 movies. My bad.
Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of Blank Check. I was thinking of a completely different Disney movie.
Yeah, but Haley Joel Osment is getting panned because he's picking quote unquote bad roles because he's willing to play unlikable characters.
That'd be fun.
He literally played a Nazi in a Kevin Smith movie.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're saying
Wasn't
he's
it?
actually a good actor?
He can be, yeah. He's actually a talented actor.
Well, I mean, it's not like Ian McClellan didn't play a Nazi once, an apt pupil.
Yeah, but you know, it comes down to being good looking and following a certain aesthetic. Haley Joel Osment got fat and played a Nazi in a Kevin Smith movie. That's
Well, to be
different
fair-
because it wasn't exactly Oscar bait.
To be fair to Haley Joel Osment, when he was skinny, he was the male version of his sister. So
Who's Haley Joel Osment's?
I think he was
Sister.
thinking Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, Emily Osment.
she was on. She's done a few shows for ABC, and she was with Disney. The Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus's like sidekick. She was cute.
She in the Hannah Montana movie? She had kind of like a flat face.
No, not really. Like I said, her and her brother are almost indistinguishable, except that he's fat and a guy.
Oh. Good. Oh. Yeah, past than that. How's Hayden Panettiere up to these days?
Hayden Panettiere or whatever her name is.
Hayden pocket-sized fun bitch. That's
No idea. I want to know whatever happened to the Noxzema girl.
I'm still pursuing that chick from the AT&T commercials.
Mila Van Trub,
Whatever the fuck her name is.
Melia Van Rub, or something like. I don't know. Yeah, she's hot.
My big titty AT&T girl.
Oh yeah. Do it for the tatas.
She's a little midget. Like she's like 4'9".
So what you're saying is she's gonna have lower back problems in the near future.
No, she's tiny. She's tiny. She's not stacked.
Back problems.
Probably an A cup being 5 foot nothing.
That'd be,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. It doesn't matter how tall you are.
Mike's enjoying that Maxima girl comment.
Yeah. That might even be before your time, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I know Garrick has no clue who the hell I'm talking about.
Wait, who are we talking about?
The Noxzema girl?
Yeah, not a fucking clue. I thought you said Xenon at first. It was like, ooh, how do you know her?
The Noxzema girl.
Not Xenon. Okay.
She was also, I believe she was also the girl in the Wicked Game video, if I am not mistaken.
Rebecca Gayhart?
I have no idea. I don't even know her name. I have to look this up now.
What it says. Young, she looked good.
From Urban Legends?
Now she looks oof.
I know Rebecca Gayheart from Urban Legends, Jawbreakers.
Yeah, that's her.
Nothing. Ah. Oh,
From Hazard, Kentucky.
yeah. I think she's in Harvard Man, Dust Till Dawn 3.
Wait, she's from Hazard? No,
Yeah.
it's not Hazard.
Hazard, Kentucky.
Damn it.
Speaking of Hazard, John Schneider has been touring the country in the southeastern part of the country, and just a good old boying it up. Like, stop it, please. He's hilarious.
I still need to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Do you guys remember the Pepsi girl?
Yeah, the one that was Miss Louisiana.
Don't think so.
Cindy. No, that was, or was that Coca-Cola? I don't remember.
No, the Pepsi girl was this little girl in the early '90s who did Pepsi commercials, and she was cute as a button. Turns out she's the sister of Jesse Eisenberg.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Haley Eisenberg. She was the Pepsi girl.
I don't see it, but okay. Yeah.
wasn't she in How to Eat Fried Worms?
Haley Eisenberg. Why was I thinking Cindy Crawford?
Because you're a red-blooded American man who should always think of Cindy Crawford frequently.
This is true. This is true.
You know what killed my love of Kathy Ireland?
Her voice.
Yeah, from Loaded Weapon.
Oh, I was gonna say from Alien in L.A. That one.
No, I didn't watch that. No, from Loaded Weapon. She killed my love of her all on her own.
Good Lord.
And I'm like, oh, girl. Yeah. Cindy Crawford did Pepsi commercials back in the day.
Oh, that's right. She did. The machine at the truck stop.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the famous Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. And then there's that, what was it, Pink, Britney, and Beyonce Super Bowl commercial with the gladiators. Fucking Enrique Iglesias for some unknown reason. Junior, by the way, not the old man. It's like,
Oh. This is your brain. That's Rachel Lee Cook. Yeah, we all know who that is. Him and Mike. Was it Mike? No, that was Maynard. Remember Maynard? Last thing I saw Rachel Lee Cook in, I think, was Psych. I could be wrong.
Psych was a good show.
It was a very good show.
Are we done talking about commercial girls that you guys can't have because you're losers and are married? I wonder what Mikey's doing now. Is he still alive, or did he die from eating anything?
Who?
Mikey?
Oh no, that kid died. Pretty sure.
Give it to Mikey, he'll eat anything. I wonder if I'm gonna try Googling it. Like, did Mikey die? Just straight up, did Mikey die?
No, guess he's not dead.
Brandon, take
Holy
your,
shit!
photo order.
He did not die of eating Pop Rocks and soda. It did not kill little Mikey. Holy, what a weak fucking Google search. It came back knowing exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, and he didn't eat he didn't eat anything. He hated everything, and then he ended up liking life.
Quaker Oats breakfast cereal, yeah. That's right, he hated everything. He hates everything. John Gilchrist. That's what I like used to name. Now, if you get that little bastard to swallow some Mentos and then a Coke shot, he'll fucking go out both ends.
Mentos and a Diet Coke.
Chris Klein. There was a reason why Chris Klein, like Josh Hartnett, stepped back from Hollywood because he's too cool for Hollywood. Which I think really he never got over his haircut from Halloween H2O. But Chris Klein, I think he. I want to say Born Again, maybe? I mean, he was a heartthrob, but he really wasn't... Oh, he got arrested for drunk driving in San Diego, and then again 5 years later in Los Angeles, and he checked himself into a 30-day alcohol addiction program and stopped acting. I couldn't for the life of me figure out where that kid from American Pie was from. And it took me like the entire movie to realize he was the kid in Rookie of the Year. Thomas Ian Nichols. I was like, how the fuck do I know this kid from? I know something. Funky butt loving. And as far as Sean William Scott, he's just not a good actor. Like, he's a lovable character, but there's not room for a lovable character. And like, what did he do in the last decade? Goon?
Goon.
He did the Rundown, and he's absolutely shit in the Rundown.
They were
Of
trying
course,
to
The
give
Rock.
him a superhero movie of some sort, I thought. Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Jay? Or are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, all of a sudden we have less background noise. Oh, Garrick muted himself. Go look at that.
Look at that. Way to go, Garrick. You're the 2017 Goon, the last of the enforcers. So apparently there's a Goon 2.
I don't think he's in that one, though.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
He's right on the cover.
Okay. Yeah, decidedly not a Stifler-esque role.
Yeah. $1.2 million Canadian. Directed by that jackass I was talking about earlier, Jay Bastrell. It's a Canadian film. Oh, Eliza Cuthbert's in it. Just full of hot Canadians. She's looking terrible, though.
Found out today that less people live in Canada, in all of Canada, than live in California.
Oh, yeah, but you could do that for, I think, the UK, too.
Yeah, well, the UK is a different story, but it's literally smaller than Arizona, so you can only fit so many people in it, whereas Canada is really large. You can fit however many people you want into it. But
No, you really can't. Like, if you go to Canada, if you drive straight north 100 miles, you'll never find anybody. Like, every town in Alaska or in Canada is like 45 minutes from the border max. Like 93% of Canada is lower than New York City.
that's not true.
Detroit? Will you believe Detroit?
Yes. No, I wouldn't believe Detroit either, because the only part of Canada that's south of Detroit is South Detroit, which is...
Toronto.
No, it's not Toronto. It's... oh, what the hell? I used to work with people from there. And they always had to explain to me that, yeah, it's Canada, but it's basically just South Detroit.
Fucking Toronto. Ontario, Canada. Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Right, but the city of Toronto is further north. What the hell is the name of that goddamn city? I'm not going to have to pull up a map. Windsor? Windsor, Canada, I think?
Oh, Windsor. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Windsor.
I dated a girl from Windsor.
Yeah, South Detroit. Which is what Journey sings about. Apparently they have midnight trains that don't go anywhere.
South Detroit.
There is no south of Detroit. There is only Canada.
When Eliza Cuthbert gets her finger cut off in House of Wax, that fucked with me way longer than I care to ever admit. It wasn't even a good movie, but that scene, like the casualness of her maiming, like she was so hot though. Just fucking cuts off her finger. That movie and The Crow fucked me up as kids. Not because of anything particularly that the movie did, but I just thought like the rest of the country was like Detroit on Halloween. Like the day before Halloween, they just burnt all the crack houses to the ground and moved on.
There was a couple movies that left me disconcerted when I left the theater. Crow was one of them. So was American Beauty.
Oh, like I too could fuck that hot 16-year-old neighbor chick.
Yeah, just
Kevin
the-
Spacey can get it.
Yeah, well, more importantly, he had the neighbor go down on him. That was more Kevin Spacey's speed, anyway.
Yeah. The important part was 16, not that it was a female.
Just
I'm not asking, Steven. I already know you're gay. I don't care why you enjoyed House of Wax.
what are these Disney
Why is it-
Star Wars sequels you're talking about, Maynard? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I haven't seen a Star Wars since they changed up the first three.
Yeah, that was a clue, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. I was more concerned about the bear in the yard than the flashy pics. I couldn't see. What the fuck is that about?
Oh,
Mike called me out, said false Winnipeg's an hour from the border, not 45 minutes.
Winnipeg. That was the one I was trying to think of. That's north of Calgary, isn't it? No. What is north of? Now I do have to pull up a map. Damn it.
The North Pole.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's technically north of me too. But
I have faced down a bear. It was a cub, but I ran away looking like an idiot. But
no, Edmonton.
I know when
Edmonton
there's a
is-
cub, there's a mama bear. So you fucking run. Like, yeah, I can take a cub. I'm not worried about the cub. I'm worried about the mama bear behind the cub.
Yeah, Edmonton's pretty far north. Calgary looks like it's pretty far north. Saskatoon is north.
Oh, yeah, Saskatoon, yeah.
Regina. That's just fun to say.
It's where all the Reginese people come from.
Yeah, the only part of Canada that's like low, like lower than Minneapolis, is Toronto and some of French Canada, Quebec.
Yeah, you like you feel like a coward when you're talking your friends away from a little baby bear, like it's gonna rip your face off. But eventually they get the point. like I'm not scared of the cub. Like it's 25 pounds. I will fuck that little baby up. I'm scared of its mother. Like I'm scared of my mother, and she was the size of the cub. If you have a family of bears that is completely like continually breaks into your shit, then you are actually less likely to get attacked by that bear. Bears attack out of fear. If they're running around your neighborhood, they don't fear you, which is kind of in its own way a safety. They'll still fuck you up, but they won't try to kill you. So you will get a claw, but they're not going to try to eat you because they already know that your neighborhood's full of food. Jesus. I don't know how you get away from a Kodiak mama bear, but imagine it was a sad day when your grandpa had to shoot your uncle. So he could get away. It was just a black bear, and I actually think I could take a black bear. The problem is, I don't think I could take a black bear unscathed. And I don't have any friends that can carry me to a hospital. Yeah, best thing to do is to open up everything you possibly can and let that fucking thing loose as soon as possible. Like, there really is no other way around it. Yeah, if there becomes something like a neighborhood bear, shoot that fucking thing. Because the best bet is it's training its kids to also victimize you, which means those kids would be better off in some sort of zoo. Thank you, animal control officers. Come get these little bastards. I already killed the mama. That's why everyone should have at least a 30 caliber rifle. Unless you live on a bear reserve, do not feed the fucking bears. Because I like bears. I think bears are like giant dogs that will eat the shit out of you when you're dead. I still call them joggers. Speaking of, I sent a message to Matt about Ken Bone's idea of voting Jorgensen because he's a piece of shit. Like, my whole identity is based around being a third-party voter. It's like, get your boy straight.
I contemplated voting for the Aleppo guy. What the hell was his name?
Johnson.
Yeah,
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson. Yeah, I contemplated it, but I realized stopping Hillary was more important, so I reluctantly voted for Trump. Now I'm happy that I did, but at the time I was just like, all right, I've got to stop this bitch.
Mm-hmm. Now it's not even a comparison. Joe Jorgensen is pink Tex and pro BLM.
Yeah, she's not even a libertarian. I have no idea how she's the party's candidate. She's not even close to being libertarian.
Like, can we get that Austin Peters idiot back? Like, at least he made sense. Oh. Well, it's for dinner, Garrick. Huh? What happened to you?
Oh, my God. I've had something in my left eye the entire show. It's bugging the fuck out of me.
That's COVID.
Is it? Is that how it starts?
Your left
eye goes wonky.
Yeah, if I learned anything from this ordeal, it's everything is COVID.
Yeah.
Voted for Gary twice, and JoJo was too much. Actively anti-racist.
Yeah. Whatever.
I want to like movies. I really do. I will give the shittiest movie a chance if I think they put forth the effort. But I just don't see it. It's like Chevy Chase in Nothing But Trouble. Like just phoning in the acting. Like, I want a nice movie with a $500,000 budget where everybody is trying their ass off. And unfortunately, it fails. But I appreciate your effort, everybody. Yeah. Movie budgets are way too fucking big for what they are. Like, I don't need a teen rom-com that costs $22 million.
What the hell is making running up those costs?
Exactly.
Cocaine budget?
Yeah. Craft services. Like, there are writers and directors out there. Well, not so much writers, but there are directors out there that could make amazing movies for the cost of craft services in some of these movies.
Like, what was that abortion you made me watch? The
First off, absolutely did not make you watch it, and I didn't even suggest you watch it. I suggested you watch
Birdemic, that's what it was.
No, I didn't. I suggested you watch Athor the Mighty Sword or something. And you ended up watching the movie I said was the worst movie I ever saw.
Well, yeah, I had to test it. I mean, you got to test that. I mean,
And
you're not wrong.
don't fuck with J-Fry.
Well, I still think Hobgoblins gives it a run.
Well, he's Hobgoblin. Yeah, okay. When you borrow your creatures from other movies, you're already. Yeah. I'm still pissed off. I watched Arachnoquake.
Yeah.
And Eddie Furlong's character was a softball coach from Texas. And at one point, they're driving back to Texas from Louisiana, where their game was held. And he beats the shit out of a rock tarantula that came out of the ground from the Arachnoquake. Beats the shit out of it and sends it flying. And he says, and that's how you make jambalaya. I'm like, you're from Texas! The movie setting is just New Orleans, you idiot. Ad-lib your fucking character better, you piece of shit.
It's not like they were... It's not exactly a dialogue or continuity movie, to be fair.
Arachnoquake could have gone places.
Where? China?
Razzies? There's one scene where they're going up high between two skyscrapers, and it's so cold there that if they don't have protective suit, they'll die. And I'm like, between two skyscrapers in Louisiana? Like, you don't have the bedrock for skyscrapers in fuck New Orleans. But so like he put on a deep sea suit, and I'm like, you're dumb. You're just dumb. Yeah, it was terrible. And like Lava Lantula wasn't much better, but like it was nice to see the Police Academy people back together again. I want a movie that turns out to be a completely different movie without like the audience knowing until the end of the movie, but they never let it happen. Like
Fight Club?
no. All right, like so you got a kid, or like a guy, a full grown adult, and he's in charge of a trucking company, and you know the local bikers are trying to move in on his business, and the kid accidentally gets into a fight with the guy gets into a fight, the owner of the trucking company, and it becomes a war between the trucking company who's paid off like the police and the owner of the trucking company. So it's the bikers versus the trucking company guy. And then the bikers come onto the property and start shit. But then the movie turns into Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, who used the money from Over the Top to start a trucking company with his son. And the son is the guy from the trucking company ownership. And then Rambo comes out and fucks everybody up.
So basically, you're just in it for a hot mess.
Well, yeah. But like they would never, like, between the ego of Stallone, because Stallone has quite the fucking ego, never would that kind of like surprise ending be allowed to take place. Stallone's such an egomaniacal fuck basket that he had Dredd take off his helmet.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even draw Dredd's eyes in the comic book because he's never without a helmet on. But yeah, I mean that'd be great. Or same thing with like with Commando, like Schwarzenegger's daughter. I want to say Samantha, but it's Alyssa Milano. You know, hair salon, and you know, rise up, and people are fucking with the hair salon, and Dutch comes out and fucks everybody up, or whatever his fucking code name was. Dutch was obviously a predator, but you know, Schwarzenegger still fucked everybody up.
Right.
I enjoyed the idea of the Expendables, getting like that group of guys together, but you know, like, where's Arnie? Where's this? That would have been great. But instead, you have just a meeting between the fucking owners of Planet Hollywood. They're Stallone and Schwarzenegger are beefing right now, and it's kind of adorable. I'm enjoying the shit out of it on Instagram.
What the hell are they beefing about?
They're both one-upping each other on charity stuff.
Oh, well, that's actually good for everybody.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger was talking shit about Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Like he pretended to have interest in it, and then Stallone took it over and ended up funding like all of it and starred in it with Estelle Getty. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And then Stallone up Schwarzenegger. I don't know how he did it, but it was like a post. And then Arnold came back with donating a knife, a signed collectible for Stallone from one of the Rambo movies. And then he pulled out his knife from Predator, which is like a fucking glorified machete. Like a machete's a pound and a half of steel. The knife Dutch had in Predator was like 4 pounds of like Himalayan crafted nonsense. Stick around, but Schwarzenegger tried to pull off the Australian "that's not a knife" accent, and I'm like, you did a terrible job, Arnie. Knife? No. But then they all laughed at it. It was well, I totally love the was it Expendables 2 when the Chuck Norris Ex Machina. I love that. Like fucking rockets are raining down from the heavens. It's just Chuck Norris with a grenade launcher. What the? What the hell? Yeah, I got bit by a snake, and after 5 days of pain and suffering, the snake died.
We definitely need some movies that everybody can get behind.
Mm-hmm. I'm upset that the Last Action Hero didn't do as good as it did. I love that movie.
It's it's a good movie, but the world wasn't quite ready for that level of camp.
I'm the famous Canadian, Arnold Braunschweiger. Like, no, that's not you. Sorry.
I think that End of Days should have gotten more credit than it did.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I mean, fuck carrying guns at your wrist level with like inverted ankle holsters, but other than that, that movie was great. I've had a watch that was like uncomfortable with the weight of the watch, let alone carrying a fucking Glock 19 in a wrist holster. But yeah, I want to see like the pivotal role, like literally a Mission Impossible with like the best of the best characters, like Dutch, Rambo, whatever. What was Chuck Norris's character from Delta Force? That guy.
Yeah,
Like
30-year-old heroes at this point. No thanks.
yeah, like just old as fuck. But them just training their replacements. Not like this. In the rundown, there was a cameo with Arnold Schwarzenegger saying "Good luck," like him passing on the torch. And I'm like, you weren't a wrestler, Arnie. Calm your shit. Yeah, it was Angie Everhart, Steven. Smooth on a phone number. Good. See, Action Jackson was actually created during the filming of Predator, which is why it's riddled with actors and everybody from Last Action or from Predator. You got Bill Duke playing the boss, and just Billy's in one of the fight scenes outside. Oh man, Vanity was so gorgeous. I don't know what her actual name was, but Prince had an eye for women. I don't know if he had sex with women, but he had an eye for women. I don't care how gay I am. I'm banging Vanity and Carmen Electra in their prime. The Last Action Hero, though, it made no sense. Like that kid that got arrested at the very beginning. He's a black kid, and he's a nervous black kid. He's throughout the whole movie. I love this kid. But first scene, he's a pickpocket, gets beat up by a woman, and the cops save him from getting his ass kicked by a large black woman. They arrest him. He processes, flees the scene, ends up knocking over a cup in front of Carl Weathers' lap. Action Jackson. Like 2 scenes later, the kid's a waitress at a waiter at a Chinese restaurant. I'm like, I don't know about that. I happen to live in Detroit where this takes place, and I don't recall a lot of black waiters at my Asian restaurants. Cool out, kid.
I just want to know what genre comes next after this superhero nonsense.
I'm hoping 80s action resurgence was just over the top nonsense.
Pardon me for a moment.
Let him watch what he wants to watch. Nostalgia goggles. Yeah, man, there was just something about, like, I watch them still to this day. Just shitty 80 horror movies. I enjoy the hell out of them. Against restaurants. At Against Restaurants, Steven? A lot of Against Restaurants out there? I actually wouldn't mind musicals if it was musicals. I have that's the problem with Hollywood right now is a lack of talent, really. Like I could not I did musicals in high school. I was not talented enough to be a regular actor, but I was talented enough to be an actor in musicals. So, you know, like back 50 years ago, all of those actors, you know, they weren't hired because they were good looking. They were hired because they were talented. Betty White, Bob Hope, Milton Berle, Lucille Ball, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. Like they were all multi-talented singers, dancers. They had multiple skills. And in the 80s, you had the 80s is a little bit unique because they did bring back the multi-skilled actor. Just they couldn't act, but the martial arts. And they tried it a couple times, like with Brian Bosworth, who was a former football star, so a talented athlete, now an actor. Or yeah, but a good example is Hugh Jackman, talented actor and gifted singer, not necessarily going to be someone who breaks the top 10 on a song, but fills out very well in a musical. Pierce Brosnan is another one, musically talented. These people had good quality, thick voices that extended to you on a level further than, you know, harsh whispering Megan Fox. She's gorgeous, yes, but I don't need that kind of beauty in my life that has no substance behind it. You know, I'd much rather have a Anna Kendrick, who is a toned down beauty, but has talent on other levels. Like, I'm sick of seeing actors fake playing instruments. If you're a guitar wielding mariachi, you need to be able to play the guitar. If I can't cast you as half white as white or half black as black, and it has to be black people, then you have to be a one-legged gimp if I'm requiring a gimp that has one leg in my movie. No more special effects. Draw on the line now. Line drawn. There aren't many popular singers today, good singers. Yeah, that's true. And Britney can't act for shit. Like, we saw that. Mandy Moore was a decent actress. Jessica Simpson played a bombshell well in Dukes of Hazzard. So yeah, I just want multi-talented people back in the limelight. You know, people who earn it, not the people we have. Like, I don't mind if Tom Cruise can't sing because he was something special, even though he's 5'1.5" tall. But if we're gonna do a resurgence of Hollywood, cut out these people, cut out the eye candy, cut out the poor actors. I don't give a fuck about Ethan Hawke and whoever the fuck he is. Bring in people who can do everything, and go back to the old way of signing them on to 6-picture deals and having them live on the freaking Warner Brothers lot. Paying $20 million for a role is stupid. I want that done with.
You might get your wish. And I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the ridiculous amounts of money these people are getting paid for pretending to do something is ridiculous.
And that's because agents were introduced. The union bullshit of Hollywood. Fuck them. Everything. Drop it.
Well, the same thing happened to professional sports too, though. You got to admit.
And I want it dead.
Yeah, and very well after this COVID nonsense, that might be COVID's silver lining, is it finally killed that bullshit. I mean, we've already got the NBA saying they're going to unwoke their nonsense because nobody watched the finals. But then you've got, it was either Cuban or somebody was saying that China is the NBA's market now, not the U.S. I'm like, good, get the fuck out. Go play over there.
Yeah. Be the Wu-Tang Bats. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I want to see it ended. Get the fuck over it. De-unionize America. Hell yeah.
Yeah, unions had a purpose 100 years ago. They've achieved all they can, or at least to the point where they need to. And public sector unions are even fucking dumber than private sector unions.
Mm-hmm. I want to be able to fire the people at my DMV. Not my personal DMV. I do everything by mail, but still, I want that to be a possibility. The Wuhan bats versus the Beijing censors. And here come the capitalists. Yeah, it would be the Beijing Globetrotters versus the American capitalists. We had the Senators that the Globetrotters used to play against. My uncle was a senator.
It was the Washington Generals.
Was it?
Yeah, it's the Washington Generals.
Well, my uncle was a Washington General then for a local game.
The Senators were the original baseball team out of D.C.
His first, what was he? He was supposed to hit 2, miss 1, and it was hit 1, miss 1, hit 1 was the plan, but he sunk his second shot on accident. So he almost airballed his third shot in order to miss because he thought his second shot was going to miss. It was funny as hell. Because I'm watching my uncle instead of watching the Globetrotters, and my uncle's like, "Oh!" when he sunk that shot. I'm like, "That's weird." He was a sports broadcaster in Port Huron when the Globetrotters came through in like, I don't know, early 90s. So nearly 30 years ago. Well, we did 2 hours, so let's read the super chats and then get out of here. No super chats, we can go.
Yeah, because we suck apparently.
Ain't that a son of a bitch?
Boy, when we stop performing, you tens of people are going to be upset.
I know.
Not talking to the live audience. I'm talking about the 11 people who watch this when we're not live. For some reason.
I have a feeling they start it, get about 2 minutes in, and they're like, "Fuck this shit, turn it off."
Each
still counts
time
as a
it's
view.
11 unique. It's 11 unique individuals every time. Going, hey, what's the? Oh God. Never mind.
All right, we'll say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, folks.
Oh, did I steal your line? Oops.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation.